Howdy, howdy.
Howdy!
And welcome to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast where we probe real-life supposed alien events. We do this to determine whether these incidents really did involve aliens at all. I'll be your host this week, Kevin the Grey, and in the co-pilot seat this week is Granville Moonwalker. I'm dosed up on coffee or rum, possibly both, and ready to roll. What you been guzzling, Mooney?
Nothing.
It's not what I heard. Today...
Not gonna lie. I nearly just came out and just shouted. Carry on.
Today we are examining some incidents in Brockville, Maitland in Canada. Blame Canada! People from Canada must hate that.
Yep.
We're also heading back to the 20s this week because these events took place in 1926, not long after the First World War. In 1926, the first liquid-fueled rocket was launched, ushering in the space age. The American government actually begun poisoning bootleg alcohol to stop people drinking during the Prohibition from 1920 to 1933, whereby alcohol was banned. Sad times. Prohibition was supposedly to reduce crime and solve social problems. This was also the year that Harry Houdini died, reportedly either from appendicitis or days after being punched repeatedly in the belly by a McGill, Montreal, Canada, university student on a bit of a machismo dare backstage before a show. Actually, that's a nice segue back to Canada. Reports of the upcoming incidents first appeared in the 7th of July 1926 edition of the Courier and Freeman newspaper, but this was before the UFO craze of the 1950s, so it didn't get wide coverage. But in the weeks before the event I'm going to disclose to you, the whole Maitland area went through a period of witnessing strange lights in the sky.
So is that actually how Harry Houdini died?
Yeah. He, before a show, some people were backstage and I think he just punched me in the stomach a million times, I won't feel it, and they absolutely pummeled him, took liberties, beat the shit out of his tummy. He was like, yeah, you pussies. Went on stage, performed, but was obviously not too well after that and died a few days later.
Not surprised. Must have caused so much damage. If
Possibly.
they were just hitting him as hard as they could.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been that. It could have been appendicitis. It could have been both.
Gave him the squits.
I don't know that he died of the squits, but it could have been an associated side effect, I guess. But kind of crazy to think that's how the famous magician went out, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You'd expect a trick to go wrong and them to pass in a box of water or something.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Like one of it, put me in a straitjacket underwater and I'll get myself out and just never comes back up. But
damn prestige. But nope, he just got pummeled to shit in the tummy.
And then just shits blood and dies. So these river
lights somehow managed to make that more grim.
So we've got a article here.
Yep. So I've provided the newspaper article to Mooney here, which confirms the strange lights being sighted.
All I can see is it says lights Baffa River residents.
So
could be any type of light.
The newspaper wonders whether numerous planes are flying over Maitland at night, though it cannot fathom why planes would be flying so high up in shitty conditions over Maitland for no obvious reason. But some Maitland residents would also report seeing searchlights coming down from the sky, attached to some kind of flying machine. These same witnesses would report that there was no sound accompanying these sightings, and that is very unusual for 1920s flying technology. The lights were reported as if they were attempting to locate something or someone.
Could it have been a Zeppelin at that point?
It's an early theory out of the box there.
Because they might have had big searchlights up on the side of it. I don't know what they might have been looking for, but
Houdini
could have been in the Zeppelin looking over. So they see loads of searchlights moving in different directions from above. One or two Zeppelins, maybe.
But then you'd be able to see a Zeppelin, wouldn't you?
Not necessarily. Not if it's shitty weather conditions. Could have been hidden by the clouds.
I'm not sure how high Zeppelins can go. Interesting theory.
Can they go high enough to be hidden by the clouds?
I mean, later on I'm going to shit all over your theory, but at this point...
Interesting theory.
Interesting theory. I say that with no backup here whatsoever. I'm going to savagely Google to find out why it couldn't be a Zeppelin whilst we're going on. A farmer in the town of Prescott, an 11 minutes drive today from Maitland, also reported that he saw 3 strange lights travelling over his farm late in the evening. The head one, as he put it, appeared to have a powerful searchlight which was causing quite the furore amongst his farm animals. This farmer believed that he could make out craft around these lights.
Zeppelin!
Uh-oh! I said craft, not Zeppelin. Zeppelin. Didn't say Zeppelin, didn't say blimp, didn't say airship. What else you got? Yeah.
Sky balloon.
Touche. Really big, oval-shaped hot air balloon.
So the animal's getting a little bit spooked.
Bit rowdy.
I suppose that could be... No, because they wouldn't have been low enough for the heat from the light to hit them.
No way.
Maybe it's just the fact that there's patches of bright lights.
Well, animals don't give a shit when planes go overhead and whatnot. Why would they care about a Zeppelin?
That's true.
This whole episode's going to be focused on disproving it's a Zeppelin now.
I'm trying to think what the
lights could actually be.
Lights could have been made out of.
Alien technology.
And the the plastic shielding, would it have been enough to act as a magnifier so the heat would actually reach that low?
I don't have the answer to that.
Therefore, that's why the cows may have just been acting up.
It's unlikely that 1926 technology is going to torch the cows.
I just mean it could be shit technology. That's why it's torching them. Like they haven't created the technology to not give off that amount of heat.
But then cows don't give a shit when it's sunny. They just go stand in the shade and...
Yeah, but it's meant to be night.
Hot night.
Like their cycles are... They're like, it's meant to be nighttime, motherfucker. What's this like? Why am I hot? They've gone from cold to hot all of a sudden.
Cows now completely understand the weather. They get freaked out when it's not as it's supposed to be.
Aren't they meant to lay down when it's going to rain or something like that?
I don't know, but I've definitely seen cows in the rain standing up.
No, but I mean, if a lot of them are laying down, isn't it meant to rain? Then maybe they just get up and wander up. I don't know, there's something about that.
I've never heard that, but I'm not really in cow circles. You are much more than me.
I'm going to have to look it up now. You can carry on talking while I look up
then
cow
you're not going to listen to the...
I'm listening to everything you say about it being Zeppelins.
Okay. Granville has a tiny penis, and...
Hey. It's micro.
Touche, sir, touche.
Okay. Cows lie down for many reasons, and there's no scientific evidence that rain is one of them.
That's the exact opposite of what you were trying to argue.
It does not mean that it's unreal. Fuck science.
Well played, sir. Right, on to the Brockville area of Maitland we now go. Our subject is an unnamed female, so we need to give her a name. I'm opting for Granville. I'm not. I'm opting for Sky. Sky Walker. Sky was at home one night in bed, asleep.
It's absolutely fine because I can never name my daughter that.
Why?
You know exactly.
Sky awoke to some loud noises. Yes, I know the grass was silent, but who said the noises were from the lights? It could have been from chaos caused by the lights, for example, if they were tractor beams, or if the lights disturbed the farm animals, as we suggested earlier. Sky looked out of a window, and she too witnessed the strange lights hovering in the sky, a few 100 feet up next to her farm. Sky was petrified. I mean, how would you feel if one day you looked out of your window and saw something otherworldly? As Skye stared, dumbfounded, motionless, one of the lights began moving closer.
2 things.
Yeah?
1. How are lights otherworldly? Because she never saw a craft, she just saw lights. So there's no way you could assume that
any light.
otherworldly.
It was an otherworldly light. You could detect presence.
Also, where's the noise coming from with the lights?
It's mainly...
Because you said, who said the noises were from the lights? So, when the lights make noise,
when they're a Zeppelin,
low hum.
It's an alien Zeppelin, damn it! Be quiet.
So it's a Zeppelin.
No, I didn't say that. I said it's an alien Zeppelin.
So it's still a Zeppelin.
Do you know, I wrote this one so long ago, I've got no idea where it's going either. It's a surprise for both of us.
At the end, you're going to be like, it was a Zeppelin.
Not only could Skye see strange lights in the sky, Skye could see a good few hundred feet up that within the lights, a strange humanoid figure was present. Sort of, within the bright, hovering lights. Not only could Skye see a figure in the sky, but the figure was holding something that appeared to be a rifle.
So,
See, Skye,
if she could see that high up into the sky, then
it's almost like drunken me has written this to ruin sober me.
Then what she could potentially be seeing is a Zeppelin with searchlights, with like an army officer or soldier holding a rifle up there.
But this is
ready
between
to
the
shoot
wars,
down.
isn't it? It's not during the war.
Doesn't mean that they weren't doing like not reconnaissance, but that they weren't patrolling the area.
Who?
The army.
Which army?
This army.
You can't even remember where it is, can you?
No.
Maitland.
The American army. Or the government are testing a new vehicle / weapon, military weapon, called a Zeppelin.
It's not a damn Zeppelin. By the way, I'd just like to add that Maitland is Canada, not America.
And the Canadian army patrolling their country.
Do you remember your probe on Bill Gill, Granville?
I do
Back
indeed.
in episode 49, set in the Anglican mission village of Boyanai,
The one you shat on.
Papua New Guinea. I don't recall shitting, sir. Bill saw 4 people atop an airship. I'm wondering whether Skye has seen something similar. What if that wasn't a rifle? What if it was some kind of work tool? Skye, it turns out, actually saw the craft on 2 separate nights, and I don't know if I'm pleased or disappointed by this, but there is no abduction story to speak of. That was it. Skye saw the figure with the rifle, was frozen in place, and the lights flew away. Alien lights.
Zeppelin,
Alien.
Zeppelin. So Skye wasn't abducted.
Nope.
Was anyone else abducted that we know of?
I can neither confirm nor deny. We'll find out shortly.
So it's pretty pointless me asking you questions, is it?
How about you come up with some theories? Why you let me do all the work?
Was a cow abducted? I don't know.
Possibly.
All I'm thinking here is literally just a military aircraft, just one they'd never seen before.
Like a Zeppelin.
Like a Zeppelin. I can't think of anything else that it could be. It's not an alien Zeppelin.
I can allegedly, truthfully confirm that it wasn't a Zeppelin.
You don't know shit about your own probe. You can't allegedly confirm
I know
anything.
some things. I know something that's going to be coming up in a minute.
Where it's a Zeppelin.
No, we're going to take a sharp turn momentarily. And head in a completely different direction.
Can a Zeppelin turn sharply?
No. Precisely. I checked in with the lovely folk at UFO Insight to see if they had any similar cases in 1926. And by golly, yes they did.
Betcha by golly, wow.
Nicholas Roerich.
It's Rick.
Roerich? Nicholas witnessed a disc-shaped object in North China and also in Mongolia.
What was he doing that he was in both of those places?
Don't know, but he witnessed them during the day on both occasions. But it wasn't just Nicholas. Several members of the team saw these too.
What team?
The team, Granville, keep up! A similar metallic craft was seen in Rockland Street, Mary, in our home, the UK, during March 1926. So 1926 was a bit of a hot year for sightings. But obviously, being in the daytime, it would have been hard to see searchlights, and unfortunately these were just sightings. Not much else happened. The crafts moved swiftly, but being 1926, we have no video or anything, just a few similar reports.
If we've got no video evidence, I can't take this as legit.
Well.
This is bullshit.
Cool. No doubt.
Zeppelin. So, what was it?
Don't you fucking ask me about Nicholas and his team.
What was the team?
The A team, son.
What were they doing? Why were they in China and Mongolia? What was Rorik up to?
They were just getting around,
shit?
man. They were getting around, seeing some sights.
Doing some shady business, it would seem. Either that or Rorik is just sensationalist.
In my
Out here
head,
telling stories.
in my head, I thought this was like a team of hikers or something like that, or maybe researchers.
What if they were
I don't know.
archaeologists or
Nah.
something along those lines?
Moving on. One final story that ties in was in Lancashire, England, again in the UK during November 1926. During this cold evening, a young boy named Henry Thomas was playing hide and seek with his buddies. It was Henry's turn to go looking for the others. When he had counted and was ready to seek, Henry opened his eyes. Henry was an astute child and noticed that the back gates to one of the surrounding houses were slightly open. Someone is hiding there, Henry thought to himself. No, sorry. Someone is hiding there, Henry thought to himself. Henry walked over and stepped into the yard. Henry was about to be greeted by a sight that most certainly was not his friends.
I'm pretty sure that was like not the accent of someone from Lancashire.
Okay, show me a Lancashire accent.
I can't show you a Lancashire accent.
Demonstrate one for me.
No.
Well, then you'll have to accept that it was a Lancashire accent if you can't do better. Come on.
Prick.
We're all listening.
So did he see, what did he see?
He's going to see something.
Did he just see two dogs boning a cat? Did he see a cat dog?
Whoa, two dogs boning a cat. Does that happen? How horrific.
Two dogs boning. And then I said, a cat dog.
You said, does he see two dogs boning a cat? That's exactly what you said. Stand by it, sir.
Well, did he see that?
Definitely not. No. That would perhaps have been more unusual.
Was he greeted by men in silver suits?
You're surprisingly close to the mark there.
Less greeted, but saw them.
This is the bit that I can remember.
He went out there and there was just like either a robot or men in suits.
You're very,
UK
very close.
MIBs.
Very, very close.
To which part?
The men part.
Did he see naked men?
No, the suits was also close.
Oh, okay. Did he see MIBs?
No.
Did he see green suits? Blue suits?
No.
Purple suits? Yellow suits? Tin foil suits? Horse bane?
You merely adopted hide and seek. I was born in it. Raised by it.
Did he see Michael Jackson turning into a car in Moonwalker?
No. That's a very specific guess. Stop guessing so I can continue, darn it.
I was waiting for you to continue, so I just kept guessing.
Henry.
Did he see E.T.
Ah, no. Well, kind of.
in a suit?
Sort of, actually. Weirdly. Henry was greeted by the sight of what can only be described as unusually dressed figures. 3 figures, to be exact. Each was wearing a large suit consisting of silverish tubes, and all were wearing black boots. On their backs appeared to be something similar to air tanks. Meanwhile, each was also wearing a goldfish bowl styled transparent helmet on their heads with tubes connecting to the backpacks. This is not a well-known story, so I don't have an artist's impression, but you know what I mean by goldfish bowl helmet, so you can imagine what they look like. This is not what you expect to see in your garden. Psycho.
Psycho from Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim.
In his yellow suit.
With goldfish bowl. Absolutely.
Earthworm Jim. Such a great show.
Yeah, that was one of my... I watched few cartoons as a child, as we've covered before, but that was one I did watch, and it was among my favourites.
So, do you think they were just running drills? Doing...
What, the aliens?
Oh, they weren't aliens. They were clearly humans.
They were clearly aliens with goldfish bowls on their head. Why would a human need a goldfish bowl on their head?
Maybe they were trying to scare people.
Maybe it was aliens. They'd landed nearby and they were looking in people's houses to study us / search for supplies to fix their ship and go home, like E.T.
Did the kid pull the tubes? Did he throw a stone at their helmets to see if they'd break? Was there a goldfish in any of the bowls?
Bob, this is just turning into an episode of Earthworm Jim now. One of them had like this green snot-looking thing. He kept referring to it as snot.
Was it the backyard of someone important or just a random backyard?
As far as I'm aware, random backyard, but the identities of the surrounding houses is not revealed. So It could have been someone important for all we know.
Were they there to abduct someone?
There you go, asking me questions again.
I thought you remembered this bit.
I do.
So...
That's a question about their reasoning, which I don't necessarily know. I know what they did, but I don't know what they were there to do.
So did they abduct anyone?
No. And you'll find out why momentarily.
Did the kids scare him off? Did he go... and they went... like that?
Not exactly, but again, you're starting to edge towards the truth in a roundabout kind of way. The 3 figures clearly hadn't realised that they were being watched. They themselves were stood at the back windows of the house and appeared to be trying to look inside. But Henry must have stepped on a twig or something, because the creatures suddenly realised that Henry was watching and turned around. Henry saw their faces clearly and described their heads as being like light bulbs with dark eyes and tiny noses. One of the creatures made a gurgling-like sound, and then all 3 took a step toward Henry. As they did, Henry turned away and legged it. Henry did not stop until he got home and immediately told his family. Henry's family didn't necessarily believe him, but they also didn't think that he made the events up, so to speak. I'm guessing the figures weren't the quickest as a child outran them, but what did Henry see exactly? Why were they peeping in somebody's back garden windows?
Either they lost something and that person whose house it was somehow picked it up and took it into their house, or they're just a bunch of peeping Tom aliens. Perverts.
They're looking for like a bit of boob or buttock or wang-a-lang.
Yeah.
Three chaps out to have a really good time.
Either that, or they were just trying to scare someone. But
maybe they were the mafia.
Or there was someone in the village or whatever, town, spouting that they'd seen aliens. So they decided to dress themselves up and try and scare them.
We don't have any evidence to support that claim.
We also don't have any evidence to dispute it.
We've got the accounts here.
Yeah, they can't really be trusted.
Well, I never...
Fuck the accounts.
I never say that about your ones.
So we've got a picture here of one of the peeping Toms. Let's call him Light Bulb Bill.
This may have been something that I just found on Google looking for light bulb men.
It's pretty much just a light bulb with two alien eyes.
It's a light bulb with a face drawn on it. It's even got the screw neck. Screw in, not a bayonet. It occurred to me after I finished researching this one that Henry could have actually seen something really disturbing in the garden, like a flasher or something, and being a child he just doesn't remember it fully. But anyway, what I've basically presented you today is two small stories from 1926. One theory is that aliens were visiting the world from this time. Can we come up with any less otherworldly explanations? You got any ideas before I cover some, Mr. Moonwalker? Don't say Zeppelin.
Sky balloons and peeping toms.
What's really annoying is I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to come up with in a minute.
What? Sky balloons and peeping toms?
Well, yeah, mainly sky balloons. I mean, you're being a bit perverse with the peeping toms. Why did your mind have to go there, you dirty boy?
Because that's what they were doing. You said they were flashes, but none of them flashed him. They just were looking in a window.
I said it could have been a flasher, and he sort of blacked it out a little bit. But equally, what I think is probably being genuine for a moment, possibly more likely, is that these three chaps were scoping out a burglary.
Yeah, true.
But that doesn't explain the weird suits with tubes helping them to breathe and whatnot.
And fish balls.
Doesn't quite add up any which way.
Were there plays about at that time? Like, could there have been costumes for a play?
There's been planes since the...
But I mean, like, that would involve aliens or robots or anything like that.
But again, there's been ideas on aliens since the pre-modern times, isn't there? So
maybe that is it then.
Three people were going to perform at the theatre, but thought they'd scope out someone to burgle on the way.
Or scare someone.
Weirdly, that feels more far-fetched than the aliens. I made the point right at the start about how this was shortly after the First World War. Flying technology was on the rise. Airships had been a bit of a fad too. Farms are generally in large open areas, good places to test flying technology. Could the lights have been tests of new technology or even natural weather effects?
Zeppelin.
Could it have been?
Zeppelin.
Yeah, you were way off. You didn't even think of that, did you?
Way off. Way off.
I do have one more part to that theory that you haven't got anywhere near, actually.
What's that?
Do you want to move on?
I want to hear the theory.
So, Maitland is basically on the border between Canada and New York. I also mentioned right at the start, as a little hint, the American Prohibition. So around this time, the American government basically, and I am simplifying here slightly, but basically, America begun poisoning bootleg alcohol to sabotage the illicit alcohol trade. America didn't want people drunk or people making money from booze. So what would organisations such as the Mafia do in response to this? What if, being experienced smugglers of substances, they started importing produce from other areas? But what would be a safer way than driving across the roads and countryside? Airships were around by this point. What if the Mafia was making use of airships or other craft to float alcohol over the borders? The lights could have been smugglers finding their way or even looking for the drop.
Totally forgot about that. Prohibition.
Indeed. Yes.
So Zeppelins. But
Mafia Zeppelins.
Mafia Zeppelins.
Did the Mafia have Zeppelins? And you'd imagine they probably would have.
That could have been it. Or it could have also been... could have been both, really. Could have been the Mafia or...
Yeah, organised
the
crime.
Police trying to...
Locate the drop.
Things from above.
Where is the drop?
See what shady shit is going on. From up above.
So basically, I've got nothing to say that it wasn't airships.
But it was airships.
Yeah, on that note, that is your lot today. It's time to summarise. We've had a newspaper reporting strange lights over Maitland. Residents even reported witnessing what appeared to be searchlights coming down from the sky. Whatever was carrying the searchlights was silent in the sky. A farmer also saw these silent searchlights, which disturbed his cattle. We then covered Sky witnessing a strange figure within the lights holding a rifle, though Sky didn't say that it was an alien. We pointed out that this case has similarities to Bill Gill's case from episode 49. We then covered some sightings of metallic craft in China, Mongolia and the UK before moving on to the Lancashire hide-and-seek sighting of Henry Thomas. Henry thought a friend was hiding in the garden as a gate had been left ajar, but was instead greeted by the sight of 3 strangely dressed peeping Toms. We looked at other explanations, including space tech, weather, and smugglers. Oh, and human explanations for the hide-and-seek sightings, such as there just being men in the garden. Anything you want to go over before we conclude?
No. Wait.
Whoa. Yes. Smother me.
Rorik and his team.
Yes?
Is that literally all we have on it? It was just Rorik.
It's all I've written on it.
And his team. We have no idea what they were doing.
They were researching, hiking up rural areas.
Are they hikers?
Geologists. Olologists.
Maybe Rorik himself is an alien.
Maybe. He's unexplainable.
No, that's it.
So, are you saying that it was aliens?
But it was airships. Zeppelins and weird creepy guys dressed up. Not aliens.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been further from convincing you than I have been today. As you've seen, I picked up the Maitland UFO lights, and whilst semi-well known in some circles, there wasn't actually an awful lot of meat on the bone. Obviously, this was closely associated with the Brockville encounter, so I had a bit more bulk, but I had to find another couple of stories from the era to connect some dots and make an episode out of it. Suffice to say that unfortunately, I found myself thinking that both were bullshit. Well, not bullshit, but not aliens. I quite like the fit of the smuggler story, and outside of that, there just isn't enough evidence for me to state categorically that the Maitland UFO lights were of alien origin. This was a time of experimentation, and this could be explained by any number of worldly theories or even weather phenomenon. We just need a little bit more. I did enjoy the hide-and-seek story though. Wow. Until I thought of the creepy sex crime possibility. Ew. But that's the show today. Any final thoughts before we close out?
I would like you at some point to explain what Rorik and his team were doing. Whether it's in another probe or just in general. I need to know. And I'm not going to look it up.
It's your job.
I feel you need to tell us, all of us, me and the probers, what Rorik and his team were doing. It's your duty as a prober.
God, where did I get this information from?
Doesn't have to be today.
No, it does.
At some point, I want to know.
I wonder if I can find it.
Are you searching Rorik and his team on Google?
I may be.
Tap, tap, tap.
Archaeologist? He's an archaeologist. What? You're kidding me. You're actually kidding me. Oh, you should see what he looks like. He's got a massive white beard.
Have you just searched a picture of you?
No.
So why was he in Mongolia and China?
He was doing archaeology shit.
And he saw them both in that same time?
Yeah. He was also a painter, but he was on an archaeology trip.
Oh, so he was painting alien bullshit.
He was on an expedition in Asia between 1925 and 1929.
Oh.
So the Roriks, their son George and 6 friends begun a 5-year Rorik Asian expedition.
Thank you for that information. I am satisfied with your answer.
Yeah, no.
But it's still not aliens.
His official mission was actually to act as the embassy of Western Buddhism to Tibet.
Ooh.
So to the Western media, it was presented as a scientific enterprise, according to Wikipedia. And he famously saw a metallic oval in the sky over Tibet. Anyway, that's today's show. Thank you for all your support, folks. If you want to probe us, our social handles are in the episode notes. If you want to get in touch and suggest an episode, we are on the Twitter at... But it was aliens. Twitter! Meanwhile, we have a patreon.com where you can find bonus episodes from your extraterrestrial amigos. That's me and him. There, we cover, well, not the extraterrestrial at all, actually, but the paranormal. That's right, check out patreon.com / But It Was Aliens for bonus episodes covering anything unusual, mysterious, and spooky.
You catch your nuts in your zip then or something.
Until next time, if drinking Red Bull gives you wings, what happens if you snort it? The truth is up there. #proba.
Oh.